Hi, welcome to a new video of mine. Today is Monday, the 17th of January. The year is 2022. Wow, I said that correctly in one run. Sometimes I have trouble with the year changing, and then especially when writing something down. So, 2 weeks have passed in this new year. It's a year of new beginnings, new challenges, new insights, and the transformation continues. You may see up here Patreon first, meaning that this video is published initially on my Patreon page, and you can see in the link, the description, more about that. But it will eventually be published also on YouTube and Facebook, maybe. I did not know what I would be talking about today, but then suddenly it just came to me. I attended a webinar earlier today and did a meditation, made a drawing that came spontaneously during the webinar. And the past few weeks have been challenging because of all the changes and because of the lack of clarity in a way. I'm very pragmatic. Those who have been working with me know this. I like to look at practical things you can implement here and now in the physical world. I do work with energy. I consider myself to be spiritual, but I do not like to spend too much time up there in the higher chakras, floating away or even escaping from my body, although I've done that a lot, especially during my youth, or let's say the first 40 years of my life, actually. And also, many of you know that I do a lot regarding grounding. And those who have interacted with me regularly know that often I say, okay, ground. Let's ground. Let's be in the here and now. Let's come back in the body. Let's connect with Mother Earth. It's very easy to escape, to want to escape, especially when things are horrible, when things are not going as we want, when things are painful. Basically, when we get uncomfortable. And some who know Star Trek are like, Scotty, beam me up now, beam me up. Let me escape this horrible world. And yeah, I know the feeling. And not just in awkward moments, like you say something in this situation, like, okay, how can I just disappear from here, be invisible, or have a very cool exit? But that's ego. Most of it is ego. I'm not saying kill your ego, like many say. I'm not saying ignore your ego, as also many say. I'm not saying ego is bad. Ego is just part of us. Our ego is the part of us that's making sure that we survive. And just like everything in life, too much of anything is not healthy, it's not good for us. And some people may disagree with this, but we need balance. Even too much money and too much love is not healthy for us because it's too much. So it's more than what we need. Okay, some of you may really want to hear me say why. So, too much money. Just look at people who went from nothing to a lot, like really a lot, and how that creates new problems for them. Either they're scared for their lives or the lives of their children, their safety, their well-being, because people may abduct them to ask for ransom money. People might try to rob them all the time. So maybe having a lot of money and nobody knowing it would be a good solution. People coming to you all the time asking you for money. I'm not saying money is bad. It's when it's too much. It means it's more than what you can handle in a, yeah, in natural way. So too much for one person is not enough for another person, for example. It just depends where you are. And there are experiments they did where they asked people what they would do with a certain amount of money, and then they made that amount a hundredfold and said, okay, what do you do now? And people really got blocked. They didn't know what to do, or they started to do crazy things with it. I mean, imagining crazy things. And that's not what money is for. Money is an energy, and money is an energy of exchange. So, for example, if I would have more money, I would be doing more charity work. I would be supplying people with things that the NGO I'm supporting now is not able to. I would pump a lot of money in this NGO or create another NGO in parallel or whatever. But I would use a big part of that money to provide clothes in the winter, to provide heating, to provide food, healthy education, medical care where that's needed for people who really are in lack. Too much love. Ah, well, here on Earth, there's polarity and there is balance. And I often say you only start appreciating something when you lose it or about to lose it. So, what would mean too much love? We see, for example, too much love when parents are overwhelming their children. Often, this happens through either smothering them, being too much like this, and that means that they have no freedom to breathe, to take their own steps in life, to make their mistakes, to learn things. So they're overprotective, for example, or they give them too much. So they translate their love into gifts, giving them stuff, more and more and more and more, where the kids do not have the time to appreciate what they actually have. So they start to get used to just having all that stuff, having anything they want. So there's nothing to live for anymore. There's nothing to desire, nothing to work towards to. And everything's like, oh yeah, it's just there. Some of you may already make the bridge here to, but we are spiritual being having a 3D experience, an earthly human experience here in what we call life. And we can see it as a game, we can see it as a school of learning, and we put all those limitations. And one way we could say, or one reason we could say, is also to learn to appreciate. Because when you're soul, you can do like this, and something is. You don't even need to do like this. You just think it, and it is. And so you can think of anything, and you'll have anything. You'll be anything. You'll be everywhere, whatever you want to be. And you could say that gets boring at a certain moment. So we could theorize that soul wants to have a new experience. Just like we watch movies or we actually act as an actor, let's say in a theater play, which is the easiest to do for most people, to just join a theater club and start acting, which means that your behavior on stage is limited by your role. So you may be a very wealthy person, but then on stage, you are this beggar, you are this homeless person, or this poor person, or whatever. You may be athletic, but you play the role of a cripple. And so you need to stay in that role and play the game. And we do that for fun. Role play is something people do also during sex. Why? It's about putting limitations. Even if the role play is about being superhumans or superheroes or whatever they want, there are rules to the game. And they're all limitations. Sorry about that. I forgot to switch off my email. So the limitations make us appreciate the thing we're really facing. Instead of, we don't like this, we just jump to something else. I'm not saying it's bad to leave behind things we don't resonate with. That's different. If you do not resonate with something, it's about to go inwards, feel, and then from there, you can make your choice. Like either it's triggering. If it's a trigger, if it upsets us, it means we have a wound, we have a trigger point. So we can work on healing the wound, releasing the energy that's related to it, the trauma, the pain, the hurtful memory, whatever it is. And that will set us free. This brings me to the title of the video. Feeling. But the feeling is not just the traditional feeling of touch, hug, which is also touch. It's not just the feeling from the heart, like I feel good, I feel love, I feel sadness, I feel pain. But also that feeling, the gut feeling. Sometimes can be literally that we feel something in our stomach, like, not going that way, not going to do that thing, or that person really doesn't feel good. Or like, whoa, butterflies, oh, that person is amazing. Or, oh, I love this thing. I feel here, I really need to go that way. So these are two. Number three, the one up here, and what I'm saying from here, I don't mean the mind, I mean the third eye. And the third eye is what they say located in the pineal gland. That's why you've heard a lot about calcification of the pineal gland, which means that the gland cannot work properly, which has all kinds of physical and emotional implications. And so fluorides in your toothpaste, which has been proven that has no positive effect on your teeth, but it does calcify the pineal gland. So your third eye is the seeing, the all seeing. That's why they use the eye of Horus in Egypt, and the Freemasons, I believe they use them, or whatever groups are using them, because about seeing everything. And you may not be able to see everything, and that's fine. But if you open your third eye, and the exercise you can do for this, then you can see through things. And if you're still watching this video now, then you probably already have experienced this or are able to do it. But maybe I need to remind you that it's important to do this. So you may want an example, seeing through things. When people tell you a story, it can be anyone telling you a story. can be even the story of what we're experiencing already for a few years now in the world. Seeing through things is seeing behind the screen, seeing the bigger picture, noticing the patterns. And then you get more clarity. And then you know what you're truly facing, what's really there in front of you. This you can also do with the person. When the person in front of you, you can just look at the person and actually go straight through that mask. And you see who the person really is. And different people experience this in different ways. The main way I experience it is that I see the potential. So for those who know the Gene Keys, I see their cities, at least some of them. And I tend to forget this. So I already have very high expectations from them because I see all their potential, but I may not yet realize that with my normal eyes, I see less than that. So it means they're not there yet. Is their potential is where they can grow to? Maybe they're on the way already, or maybe they're totally asleep still. But I forget that my third eye has become so strong since 2012, it started to develop, that I just go in there and I see that. And so I admire the people. I love them. And then I hit a wall often. And I'm disappointed. And like, how the fuck is this possible? That they do this, that they behave in this way, or they say these things, and then, oh shit, I did it again. I saw the potential and I didn't zoom out to see who they are now in this moment. And I have people like that around me as well who are telling me things about me, like, what? People told me at least a decade ago already, you should be working with kids. I was like, what? Kids? No, I hate kids. Okay, why did I hate kids? Because I could really not really communicate with them. But then I had my nephew from when he turned 8 or 10, I don't remember. I was inviting him over as a birthday present. He would come and spend an evening and a night in my place. We would cook together, we would talk, we would play computer games, and he was allowed to go to sleep as late as he wanted. Why, you may ask? Because I could connect with him. And it was fun to connect with a young person who was so open, smart in a certain way, that his questions were challenging me. I could share a lot of knowledge and wisdom with him, and he was enjoying it. And his joy of those conversations, and especially the second and the third year, wow, we spent 3 4 hours sitting and talking. And it was not just me doing a monologue. No, 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 it was really him talking, sharing, asking, discussing. It was amazing. And now I realize I saw my younger self in him. And one of the things I've been working on in the past few years is my inner child. And in the last 2 years, I started to feel like really want to work with children, to inspire them, to push them to explore their gifts. And so now I understand why those people said this to me. But actually, they could see my potential, because at that moment I was not ready for it yet. And it started with my nephew, and also he and his sister would come sometimes. And his sister was not that talkative, but still. But it was a beginning. And nowadays, I babysit the son of my ex from time to time. And he's not that communicative yet, but through his behavior, I do connect with my own inner child. Last weekend, we sat down and we played with Lego, and we built a complicated ninja thing, a more like an Indiana Jones setting. And Lego was really my passion. And probably if I will, not if, I know almost for sure that one day I'll have a home with an extra room, which will be my Lego room, where I will be really building like I used to build as a child, but then with the new insights and knowledge and experience that I have today. Because one of the things that really bring me pleasure is being creative with my hands. So the three brains that we have, seeing the bigger picture, feeling from the heart, from where we can act with love. So it's so important to connect the different chakras, but it starts with the heart and the third and the fifth chakra, the solar plexus, which is the action. So act from love. Like when you want to heal a painful spot of your body, you connect the second chakra, which is the life energy chakra. And you let that energy flow through your heart and then to the spot, or through your hands to the spot you radiate. Just like the big difference between having sex, fucking, or making love. When the heart chakra is involved and the energy flows from the second chakra through the heart chakra, then into your genitals, then into your whole body, then into the person with who you are. And the person, if it was the same, then wow, you'll get in this beautiful sea of energy. You may not remember much afterwards, but you'll have that amazing feeling, like an orgasmic feeling that lasts for hours or even days. The gut brain, the gut feeling. The gut feeling is when you know something is right or something is wrong. It's not about right and wrong per se, but what's good for you, what's not good for you. Which direction to go, which direction not to go, to act or not to act. Not acting is also acting, by the way, but using your abilities to interact with the outside world as well within you, your inside world, helps you navigate the world, your life, especially in times like now when the old is collapsing and the new is not yet fully in shape. It hasn't taken fully its shape. So you have little reference points often, you have little guarantee, feels like little security. You don't know how things will go, what to expect. And that's why you need all three to see, to know, and then to act. And this takes away the limitations that most of us are experiencing now. Did I put realism in the title? Well, sometimes they tell you to be real, to be realistic. Actually, it's a good comment, but not the way it's generally used. If you're really feeling where you are, where you need to go, what you need, then you're being realistic. Realistic is not looking at the past and deciding based on the past. Like they say, financial results from the past are no guarantee for the future. So why the hell do we not apply this rule in the rest of our lives? Why do we only accept it for the financial world? And they say, yeah, basically they're cheating us when they say this. They just try to cover their asses. Yes, from a certain perspective, that's how they cover their asses. They show you, but you will have this amount of interest. Big one. 11, 12% of growth. But results from the past are no guarantee for the future. So you may lose all your money. Yeah, which is true. But where do you think they got that from? From really knowing how the system works, how everything works. But you cannot base your actions on the past, on past experiences. You can learn from your experiences, but you need to feel in the moment with your third eye, with your heart, with your gut, to know where you are, how things are at this moment, where to go, what to do. If you have trouble doing this, I have several meditations on my website. No, the link is already in the description. You will see free meditations, free 3-minute meditation, 5-minute meditation, whatever it is. But you see something free with a star on both sides, and that's the one. And those can help you to ground, to activate, to reactivate, to boost whatever you need, your chakras, your different chakras. So if they're barely active, then you can activate them. If they need to be boosted, you can boost them. If you actually want to really discover them, you can also use some of the meditations for that, to actually realize what the different chakras are doing. Third eye is a chakra. Heart is a chakra. The gut. There's a mix between two chakras, I would say. 3. I don't know, actually, to be honest. It's not that relevant. But connecting with all your chakras, being aware of them, using them, help you a lot. I mean, now I kept it simple with just the three brains. But you can add to that the chakras if you want. So I encourage you to really use all the tools that you have to navigate your life. And yes, sometimes it's really depressing and you want to give up and you have no clue what to do anymore. But it's only because we forget our abilities. When we remember those, and it helps to connect with others, because we can motivate each other, we can support each other. Just knowing that there is others like us helps us to move forward and to keep going. To keep going and to move forward. If you have any questions, please do ask, contact me, call me, email me, message me. And I wish you a wonderful day.